All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Friday, October 22nd, 2021. Markets kind of choppy here. Tech week again. The big story of the day here is DWAC up 100% again. Um, and what can you say about this one? We'll get into that in a minute. We'll just talk the markets first here. So tech week again here. Semis getting smoked on the back of Intel earnings. So Intel just getting destroyed. Let's take a look here at Intel daily, down almost 12%. Lost that 50 handle. So this thing's getting crushed. And Nvidia right now is being bid up here. And that is helping the semis to stay at least keeping their heads above water a little bit. So to say, semis are still negative, but they're not completely falling apart or anything. Now, look, we did fill that gap today on the daily, and the weekly, we still have an inside candle here from a couple weeks ago. So that will hold up for the week. Now, I want to point this out on the NASDAQ. This is the level you want to watch going into the close today, 15,399 and 25 cents. If that holds, you still have an inside bar on the NASDAQ 100 futures. So that is a key level for me to watch. Now, I do think the NASDAQ could possibly get a little bit of a bid here. And the reason for that is because I think that bond yields should pull back off of this trend line. But ultimately, I think it will be a buying opportunity to go short bonds. But that will give the NASDAQ some a bit of a breather if that does happen. But overall, NASDAQ has been the weak link, and it's been like that for, really the last month or two. Take a look at Google today, down 3%. This thing had a nice rally back. Looked like it was poised to pop back to all-time highs, but getting crushed today. Facebook down almost 6%, retesting that 200 MA. We have Snapchat getting blasted. This thing actually looks intriguing right in this area around 54 or so. Let's take a look at this trend line here. So really old trend line, but coinciding with a decent support area. I do think Snap is intriguing if it gets a little bit lower. And then obviously we talked about Intel. Microsoft is also lower today, just 0.5%. Apple down slightly as well, and Amazon taking a beat down 2.5 here. So some of these big name tech stocks pulling back a little bit. We do have earnings next week, so maybe this is a little bit of hedging and so on going on. Ahead of that, just some positioning, but tech getting a hit, and it just really hasn't been able to get anything going here. But again, watch that 15,399 level by the close this week. Now we got to talk about DWAC. So this is the Trump SPAC, which is probably the most 2021 thing you could possibly come up with. But in any case, gapping up today, getting halted a bunch of times, and now coming in a little bit. I still think this maybe has one more leg up in it. Maybe they gap it higher next week and get some FOMO into that before they really dump this thing. But I mean, this thing was just, it was $9 2 days ago, got away almost up to 200 today. And if you take a look at some of the meme stocks, GameStop down 7%. If it loses this inside bar low on the weekly, which it isn't going to this week, but that would be a failed pattern, but it's still holding up on the weekly time frame. But AMC as well, GameStop down, AMC down 7% also. Pretty ugly look there. BlackBerry, which was having a nice little potential inside bar here, and it still is, kind of lost that upper range. It had kind of a nice upright consolidation. That kind of broke down a little bit today. Clover, I'm getting hit as well, down 6%. My theory here is that we have a lot of money going into DWAC. The typical meme stock crowd are the type of people who are probably trying to chase this thing and make a quick bang, quick buck off of it. And that's why we're seeing money rotate out of the meme stocks here to chase this one. So that could be why those are pulling back. But nonetheless, just craziness in this market. And this is what happens when you have all sorts of liquidity everywhere when it really doesn't even need to be. That said, Powell did mention some taper talk today. So that caused yields to spike briefly before they pulled back a little bit. You see the action in gold here in the GLD. Gold was higher, then got smacked down as soon as yields spiked, and then it has recovered a little bit. So the market freaked out momentarily, but kind of stabilized. Dollar index, same thing. Dollar was lower, then got a nice juice, coming back in a little bit, but by the close, but actually held this upper range of this green bar here. So not a terrible day on the dollar index. Again, a nice bullish pattern here developing on the weekly, and I think if it consolidates a little bit more, it could blast through that 200 MA, and I think you're probably going up to about that 97 handle. That's about where I've calculated a price target for now, at least tentatively. Yeah, just scanning through. Transports have been strong as well. So transport's getting through resistance here, but they will probably, I mean, they're going to have resistance at, 16K. But nice move there, 3 bars in a row on the weekly and just really blasting higher. That is helped out by the rail stocks, Union Pacific, CSX. They've just really been on a tear lately. And yeah, really helping those transports there. Energy, again, positive, but just kind of grinding higher. I think that we probably get up to 85 on crude. That's our short-term target. And our medium-term target is $90. That would actually be more of a solid resistance level, in my opinion. And we also had financials strong today. XLF up 1.3, Bank of America 1.4, JP Morgan 1.2, Goldman 1.5. You get the idea. But again, with that taper talk, that is helping out these higher yield plays such as energy and financials, obviously. But anyways, we'll see what they do tomorrow, or excuse me, by the close. We'll see if they, we talked yesterday about them possibly pumping it into the weekend to try and get it to close at an all-time high and get everybody feeling good. But at this point, it doesn't look like that's quite going to happen here. And again, watch that level on the NQ. And interestingly enough, this middle trend line right here that we talked about the other day is starting to hold up on the triple Qs, and we're seeing it's acting as intraday resistance even on the QQQ here. But anyways, I'll let you guys get going. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Be sure to tune in for the weekend video on Wall Street from Main Street, and I will talk to you guys next week. Take care.